What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another stimulus update. So the committees continue to work on this $1.9 trillion stimulus package, which includes $1,400 stimulus checks, $300 and $250 child tax credits per month. We have $400 per week in unemployment benefits. We have $15 federal minimum wage and so much more. And don't forget, we have money in there for vaccine distribution, testing, tracing, and development of the vaccine as well. Right now, Bloomberg reports that the many committees still working on President Biden's $1.9 trillion stimulus package have a plan to get this finalized by tomorrow. Well, Nancy Pelosi says that she believes the committees will have the policies done by the end of the week. It's not 100% clear if she means tomorrow, which is Friday, which is technically the end of the week, or will they continue to work over the weekend? Most people expect they will continue to work over the weekend. Now, once this is done, and if this gets done by the end of the week, then the budget committee can combine the policies. It's going to take a little bit of time, but it should be done fairly simply. It should be done fairly quickly, and it should be something that we can get a vote on, hopefully by the week of February 22nd. That's at least according to Nancy Pelosi. She says the House is ready to vote, and they will most likely vote the week of February 22nd. That is also when the Senate is expected. Technically, the Senate should be done with the impeachment trials, this weekend, but some are saying they could hold things up a little bit longer. So we will see what happens there. Nancy Pelosi also stated that she wants this bill on President Biden's desk by the end of this month, by the end of February. She said she would like to see it on his desk by the end of February so that he can sign it before March 14th. Chuck Schumer states that this is quite possible and the Senate schedule will not interfere with this timeline. That's good news. Right now, there are still ongoing talks amongst Democrats about providing stimulus checks to people that do not make over $200,000 per year. Right now, what some are saying is that by cutting off the benefit at $200,000 and no more, we're actually leaving out millions of people. Now, I don't think we're leaving out that many people. However, there's going to be a lot of people that will not receive a stimulus check that may need it, that do or have made over $200,000 per year. But 2020 could have been a completely different year. And some are saying that, no, we cannot do this. And others say that this amount should actually be capped off at $150,000. So $50,000 less than what the Democrats are actually proposing at this time. But I can tell you right now, Bernie Sanders will not go for that. Nancy Pelosi will not go for that. Chuck Schumer will not go for that. And even President Biden himself says he would not support that. He would like to see them stay the exact same. If he didn't have to put a hard cutoff at $200,000, he probably wouldn't. But again, this is still up for debate. We can still see more amendments at this time. Right now, this is just what is in the bill as of today. What we do know is that the Ways and Means Committee advanced legislation earlier on today of the $1,400 stimulus checks and the child tax benefits or child tax credits. Yes, this is a child tax credit. I don't like to call it that because if you call it a tax credit, most people assume I get it at the end of the year. However, according to this plan, that's not what they want to do. We're not going to see a full tax credit because the IRS says they want to see this as a monthly payment. It would just be easier to have a monthly payment than to see a stimulus, or it's not a stimulus check, sorry I even said that, but to see a check go out at the end of the year as a tax credit. Because many people are going to receive this. What they are saying is what you will get is either $300 per month for a child under the age of 5 or under, or you can get $250 per month per child for any child between 6 and 17. And this is going to be sent out, I believe, according to all reports and according to the bill, it's going to start in July. Well, July is already 6 months late, 6 months past the beginning of the year. So how's the IRS going to do this? Well, what we know is the IRS is going to send out six 6 monthly payments. We got July, August, September, October, November, and December. 6 months. They will send out these checks for your children to either through direct deposit. However you get your stimulus check, that's the same way you're going to get this check. If it's direct deposit, great, you're going to receive it very quickly. If it's through a paper check, then it's going to take a little bit of time, but it should still come, I'd say, fairly quickly, but it's not going to be held up like a stimulus check would. And then as far as getting your payment through a prepaid debit card, that's something that we currently do not know and we have very little information on. But they say they're going to send these out, and then anything that you're left due at the end of the year, so you'd still be due 6 payments, you would receive that full amount as a tax credit when you file your income tax in 2022. So yes, in the first year, you're going to receive a somewhat of a tax credit. But come January 1st, or let's just say January, because checks are probably not going to come out on January 1st, in 2022, come January, you're going to start getting a monthly check for that child benefit. And what we are hearing is this is potentially going to be a 2-year benefit. They're going to try to do this for 2 years, and then they might try to make it more of a permanent fixture. However, it's still looking somewhat unlikely because things are going to change. You're going to see some changes in the House and the Senate, and who knows, maybe President Biden is going to continue to be president for the next 8 years. But as of right now, he's only looking at the next 4 years because that's really all he can really predict. So we will see what happens there. What we are hearing is that many Democrats at this point are still fighting to get a $600 unemployment weekly boost included. President Biden, he proposed a $400 per week boost, and a lot of Republicans just bashed that, saying, no, that's too much, we don't need it. We already have it included, and we do not need it until September 30th. That would be the end of the fiscal year for the government. Well, according to the Ways and Means Committee, they're moving forward with $400 per week, not $600. It's not going to be $300. It will be pushed up $100 to $400 per week. This will start the week of March 14th. This will end August 29th. It is not going to go throughout the fiscal year like President Biden proposed. So they are cutting it 1 month short. The reason why, nobody really knows at this point. A lot of people are just speculating. I'm not going to really speculate right now on this because, and pretty much what they're saying is this is the compromise. Democrats wanted to bring it down to $300 per week and really shorten the time frame. And Democrats said, no, we're going to do pretty much the exact same time frame, but we're going to stick to $400. So that's pretty much the compromise. That's pretty much what people are saying. There's other speculations out there as well, but again, we'll leave that for another video. So the Federal Reserve Chairman, Jerome Powell, he also came out yesterday and he did his whole thing, his whole speech, and it was very interesting to listen to. It's probably boring for a lot of you guys, but let me just break down the main part. He stated the unemployment rate is actually not 6.3%. The unemployment rate is closer, if not higher, than 10%, because he says that we do not factor in the 3 million people that have just completely left the workforce. They've just completely left. And we don't factor those numbers into the unemployment number. In addition, he said that the majority of people unemployed are blacks, Latinos, and women. And that just is disproportionately, to the rest of the economy. That is terrible. When we're seeing blacks, Latinos, and women not getting their jobs back for whatever reason. Is it an actual reason? Or is it because they're just white men are getting the jobs? That's what we're hearing. There's a lot of issues out there. Now, whether this is true or not, the numbers do dictate this is true. That yes, blacks, Latinos, and women are being affected the most. And it's actually because of these true numbers that experts say we cannot afford to go light on the unemployment benefits and the stimulus checks. But according to the Congressional Budget Office today, they say the United States federal debt now exceeds the size of our entire economy, the GDP, the gross domestic product. So this is only the second time this has happened. The last time that this happened, where the federal debt exceeded our entire economy was in 1946 following World War II. Okay? That's the scary part. The scary part is that this debt, okay, this debt that we've racked up, this does not include the $1.9 trillion stimulus package that President Biden and Democrats are about to push through within the next month. So yes, we are going to be in a world of hurt, according to many experts. Many experts believe that even though Jerome Powell is not talking about inflation today, his tune will most likely change in the next 6 months. So we may see a huge problem come 2022. But we'll just have to wait and see. But it is because of this number that Democrats are pushing for larger stimulus. They say that with more deficit spending, we can get out of this debt, this trap that we are in. And we can get more people back to work, we can create more products, have more services, and we will dig ourselves out. Well, that's what they say, that's what they always say. However, how long have we been in debt? This is also why they say we need more unemployment and we need it for longer. President Biden said that he wanted to go all the way till September 30th. Some people are saying let's go all the way to 2022. But then the Ways and Means Committee comes out and says, no, we're going to go to August 29th. And so many Democrats are actually upset by that we are actually cutting it short. So we could see some amendments there. We could see some people not support this $1.9 trillion package, which would mean it would delay the package. It would delay stimulus checks. It could potentially even delay unemployment benefits. And speaking of unemployment benefits, I received a lot of questions about how this is going to work. We know we're going to get $400 per week. We know right now we get $300 per week. Well, are we going to see, because Nancy Pelosi stated before the $900 billion stimulus package was passed, Nancy Pelosi stated that we want to do retroactive unemployment benefits all the way back to August. Well, that didn't happen. So now some are saying that, okay, well, Nancy Pelosi promised retroactive unemployment pay. So does that mean this is going to be retroactive? Here's the answer. The answer is no. We will not see retroactive pay. That would be the additional $100 per week from March 14th all the way back to December 27th. We're not going to see that. That would be great. It would help out many people. But right now we're just talking about $400 per week. It's going to go from March 14th to August 29th. And on August 30th, all unemployment programs will end. Yes, if you are on state unemployment, let's say you go on unemployment on, let's say July 20th, just throw out a random date. You go on unemployment on July 20th because for whatever reason, right? You go on unemployment, well, you still get your regular state pay and that will go through. It's going to just continue on. So we're not going to have the PUA. We won't have the PEUC programs anymore. We will not have the additional $400 per week. But some experts do say that this should continue if we continue to see a higher unemployment rate. But others say that they don't expect we have a high unemployment rate. We should be fairly low. And some are even saying that we might be within 1% of what we were before the pandemic even hit. We'll see. Some say that is very unlikely, but again, who knows what's really going to happen. Something that a lot of people have stated, again, Nancy Pelosi keeps giving us these answers, these hopeful answers that yes, we're going to see a stimulus check very soon. We're going to see the stimulus package pass before March 14th. But you need to understand, Nancy Pelosi was also the person that said we're going to see a bigger, stronger, and retroactive stimulus package. We didn't see that. She also said that she was trying to get President Trump at that time and Secretary Mnuchin on board with her stimulus package. Yet she came out after the fact and said that she really didn't want to get a stimulus package done because she wanted President Biden in office and she knew that would accomplish that if she just held out a little bit longer. Nancy Pelosi was also the one. Okay, again, everyone puts blame on President Trump, but he pushed for larger stimulus. It was Congress that wouldn't pass it. So that's a completely different issue, completely different story, and at this point, it doesn't even matter. But Nancy Pelosi, when she comes out and says, yeah, we should have this done by this week, we should have a bill ready to be sent over to the Senate by next week, we should have a bill ready to be put on President Biden's desk by the end of February, well, we have to take that talk with a little bit of a grain of salt, because some of the stuff she says never actually happens. Remember that hazard pay? No, you don't remember it, do you? Because it's been a while. Do you remember that Nancy Pelosi was adamant that we need to get heroes pay included? Yeah, she still says we need to provide for our heroes. But she only refers to heroes pay when she talks about state and local government funding. But lately, has she said a word about state and local government funding? No, she hasn't. And the reason is very simple. This is a hot button for Republicans. And I believe Nancy Pelosi and Democrats don't want to push the Republicans' buttons so much at this point. So, what you need to keep in mind, okay, little reminder, is that some Democrats do not support the $1.9 trillion stimulus package as it sits right now. Yes, some are going to really like it. Some are going to like certain pieces. But as a whole, some will most likely provide an amendment. This is specifically true when it comes to people in the Senate. So, just to keep this in mind, okay, just to give you a little bit of a heads up, we could see moderates in the Senate provide an amendment, go against Democrats to get something in there that they want. Because right now what we're hearing is only certain committees are actually working on this bill. They're not really taking input from the rest of the Democrats, and they're definitely not taking any input from Republicans. So we'll see what happens. We will also see if President Biden is serious, if he is serious about providing a bipartisan stimulus package. So again, only time will tell. But as always, that's what we know regarding this stimulus package. As I know more, I promise I'll share more. Consider subscribing and also share this video with your friends, family, and colleagues over on Facebook so they too can stay updated as well. And I'll see you guys on the next one.